Roman Reigns is seemingly reuniting the original Bloodline lineup to fight Solo Sikoa's Bloodline on WWE SmackDown. A wrestling legend recently predicted that a former member of Reigns' group would unexpectedly reunite with the original Tribal Chief. Following Reigns' loss to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, Sikoa turned on his Tribal Chief and took over the Bloodline. As the former undisputed WWE champion returned after nearly 4 months of hiatus, the two engaged in a power struggle over the family's leadership. Although Roman and Solo, along with their allies, are currently at war, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry suggested the ex-NXT North American champion would soon rejoin forces with his former Tribal Chief and the Usos. On the Busted Open podcast, the world's strongest man claims Sikoa would realize he was just a pawn for The Rock, who would turn the current Bloodline members against him upon his return. When that day comes, then you'll have the original Bloodline back together again. But before that happens, Roman's got to do the same thing with Solo that he's done with Jimmy and Jey, he said. Meanwhile, the wrestling legend pointed out that the original Tribal Chief would apologize to his former enforcer before the latter reunites with his former faction. So, you think Solo will fall back in line with Roman? Yeah, but it's not a falling back in line no more. It's coming home and realizing, hey brother, I know you're my cousin, but you're my brother. I'm sorry for turning your brothers against each other. I'm sorry for being a bad example for you. I'm sorry for proud beating you and putting you in a spot to be subservient to me. If you'd allow me to pay you back with my actions, I want to do that. Please allow me. And see, when you humble yourself and throw yourself at the mercy of the person that you affected, now you can truly be a warrior unit. From 7:59 to 9:20. Who else could join Roman Reigns in his war against the Bloodline in WWE? Jimmy Uso returned at Bad Blood to reunite with Roman Reigns earlier this month. Jey Uso is also seemingly heading towards rejoining forces with them after embracing his twin brother last Friday on SmackDown. As many expect the OG Bloodline to square off against Solo Sikoa's Bloodline in a War Games match at Survivor Series, former WWE host Matt Camp predicted that Sami Zayn would be the 4th member of Reigns' team. The former Intercontinental Champion was part of the Bloodline for almost a year before turning on the original Tribal Chief in January 2023. Who's Jey's friend on Raw still? Who's always been his friend? Who's been his friend going back to War Games? Sami Zayn. And what did Sami Zayn do on Monday? He wrapped up his story with Gunther. It kinda has to be Sami though. If it's gonna be Jey, it's gotta be Sami, he said. WWE analyst Sam Roberts suggested Paul Heyman could return after Reigns' team potentially loses the rumored War Games match. The Wiseman has been absent from TV since the Bloodline kicked him out on SmackDown last June. In a twist that left fans and WWE insiders buzzing, rumors have swirled about Roman Reigns reaching out to a former WWE champion, not Jey Uso, to join the OG Bloodline. The unexpected target, none other than the phenomenal one AJ Styles. According to sources close to the locker room, Reigns allegedly apologized to Styles for their past conflicts, extending an olive branch in hopes of uniting the powerhouse stable. With the Bloodline's dynamics at a precarious stage, Roman, who is often perceived as impenetrably stoic, is rumored to have privately admitted regret over the clashes he's had with Styles. Their history is one of tension and fierce competition. Back in 2016, Styles pushed Reigns to his absolute limit for the WWE Championship. Yet the promise of retribution against shared rivals and a legacy bond within the Bloodline could, just possibly, lure Styles into this storyline. Roman's vision. Bloodline revisited. Roman Reigns may stand as WWE's Tribal Chief, but his kingdom has seen fractures in recent times, with Solo Sikoa cementing his loyalty and Jimmy Uso's recent questionable alliances. Roman is actively looking to solidify his empire by aligning with one of the industry's top legends. Reigns envisions a more indomitable bloodline, a core that operates with unity and undivided loyalty, expanding the group's influence while mending fences from past rivalries. AJ Styles, with his seasoned career and continued physical prowess, could be the missing piece. As one WWE insider reportedly shared, Roman needs a solid, grounded ally. He respects Styles' journey and skills, and having AJ on his side would give the bloodline added legitimacy and fresh eyes in this next chapter. AJ Styles' initial reaction. For AJ Styles, joining the bloodline isn't a simple decision. Known for his independent streak and loyalty to his own group, the OC, according to backstage sources, Reigns' apology and proposal took Styles by surprise. The acknowledgement of past friction and Reigns' apparent desire to move forward struck a chord with him. Styles reportedly responded, "Roman's offer made me rethink everything. It's not every day the tribal chief admits he was wrong. I've earned his respect, and he's earned mine. That alone makes me consider what we could do together." But Styles was still conflicted. Joining Reigns would mean leaving behind the independence he's cherished, as well as his bond with Gallows, Anderson, and Mia Yim in the OC. There were ties that couldn't just be severed, and an alliance with Roman would inevitably test those bonds. Paul Heyman's influence and vision. A vital piece of the puzzle in these ongoing negotiations is Paul Heyman, Roman's wise and persuasive advisor. Heyman reportedly urged Reigns to make the approach, recognizing that AJ Styles brings an unpredictable edge and unyielding tenacity that could balance the bloodline's ruthless ambition. For Heyman, the potential of incorporating a veteran like Styles is more than a tactical advantage. It's a chance to reinvent the bloodline's narrative. Heyman, ever the strategist, approached Styles with a detailed pitch of what joining the bloodline would entail. "AJ, you've seen what the bloodline is capable of, but imagine it operating at full strength with you as a trusted cornerstone. You have a legacy, AJ, and so does Roman. Together, you could secure a dynasty that outlasts anything this business has ever seen," Heyman supposedly said during a private meeting. This approach resonated with Styles, planting the seed for what would be the biggest alliance shift in his WWE career. The locker room's reaction. Backstage, news of Roman's apology and the potential partnership with Styles sent shockwaves through the WWE roster. Many wrestlers were caught off guard. AJ Styles has built a reputation as a fiercely independent champion who rarely aligns himself with dominant factions. For some, this potential alliance raises concerns over power consolidation in the bloodline. For others, it's a sign of how serious Reigns is about creating a lasting legacy. Former WWE champion and Hall of Famer Edge, who has a long history with both Styles and Reigns, shared his thoughts in a recent interview. "If Roman and AJ actually join forces, that's a game changer. AJ has the heart of a champion and the skill to keep anyone on their toes. I know those two have their history, but to see them come together would be monumental for WWE," he commented, intrigued by the potential for storyline chaos and athletic fireworks. An unlikely confrontation with Jimmy and Solo. As discussions progressed, Roman and AJ's alliance faced an immediate test. Jey Uso, who's been trying to solidify his standing in the bloodline, was reportedly less than enthusiastic about the idea of AJ joining the ranks. Solo Sikoa, though loyal to Roman, also seemed wary, as Styles' inclusion would disrupt the tight-knit brotherhood they had forged in Roman's absence. Tension reached a peak when Jimmy confronted Styles backstage, challenging his motives and his loyalty. "You're not one of us, AJ. You're not blood. What makes you think you can just waltz in here and be part of something sacred?" Jimmy questioned, his frustration palpable. Styles responded calmly but firmly, "I didn't ask to be here, Jimmy. Roman extended his hand because he respects me, and I respect him. This isn't about being blood. It's about being willing to fight, to stand up for what you believe in. I thought that was what the bloodline was supposed to be about." Solo's expression remained unreadable, but a hint of approval flashed in his eyes, hinting that he might be more open to Styles' inclusion than Jimmy. As for Roman, he stood by, silently observing the confrontation, a small smile tugging at the corner of his lips. The exchange proved Styles' tenacity and made it clear he wouldn't back down if he joined the bloodline. The final decision: AJ Styles makes a choice. In the end, the decision came down to Styles and the values he held close. He had an undeniable respect for Roman's vision, but remained committed to his loyalty to the OC. In a climactic segment on SmackDown, Styles met with Reigns in the center of the ring. With the WWE Universe on edge, Styles finally addressed the speculation. "Roman, I respect what you've built, and I respect you for having the humility to come to me. But if I'm joining the bloodline, it's going to be on my terms," Styles declared. To a thunderous crowd response, Roman extended his hand once more, and after a tense moment, Styles accepted. The WWE Universe erupted, witnessing the birth of a new chapter in the Bloodline saga. The alliance of Reigns and Styles sent ripples through WWE, redefining the Bloodline as a faction not only based on familial loyalty, but forged through respect and shared ambition. With Styles now part of the Bloodline, WWE fans braced themselves for what would undoubtedly be an era of unprecedented domination and fierce loyalty. The OG Bloodline was reborn, stronger and more unpredictable than ever. Roman Reigns to replace Jey Uso with double champ, 2 new Bloodline members, 4 twists that could happen at Crown Jewel 2024. WWE Crown Jewel 2024 is merely 6 days away now. The premium live event will air live from the Mohammed Abdo Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 2. The company has announced 6 matches for the spectacle so far, and that number could increase in the upcoming week. With this being an international show, the company could be planning some major twists for the Saudi spectacle to draw more eyeballs. The following piece will explore 4 such swerves that could happen at Crown Jewel 2024. 4. Goldberg could cost Gunther a potential win at Crown Jewel 2024. Gunther will lock horns with Cody Rhodes for the inaugural Crown Jewel Championship at Crown Jewel 2024. However, the ring general could lose the highly awaited bout due to Goldberg's interference. As fans must be aware, Gunther got involved in a heated exchange with the wrestling legend at the Bad Blood PLE. Given that, it may not come as a surprise if Goldberg returns to cost the Imperium leader a potential win against the American Nightmare. 3. Triple H could turn heel. After Randy Orton was denied a potential match against Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel 2024, he consulted WWE's head of creative Triple H regarding the same on the latest episode of WWE SmackDown. However, this led to a heated exchange between the duo. While HHH initially refused, he eventually gave in to the Viper's demands. The Apex Predator will now face the prizefighter in a volatile clash at the Saudi spectacle. However, the company could surprise fans by having the game turn heel. Orton's refusal to listen to him may not go down well with the game, leading to his heel turn at Crown Jewel 2024. The legend could make his presence felt during the Apex Predators match to cost him a potential win. 2. Roman Reigns could replace Jey Uso with Zilla Fatu. For fans unaware, the November 1 edition of SmackDown was taped following the latest episode of the Blue Brand, which would see the company book a 6-man tag team match between Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Bloodline. However, the Solo Sikoa-led faction could look to weaken the babyfaces by taking out Jey Uso right before the clash at Crown Jewel 2024. This potential angle could then lead to Roman Reigns being forced to replace Big Us with a double champ. The superstar in question is none other than the late great Umaga's son, Zilla Fatu. The 25-year-old, who is currently the Hogue Crown Jewel champion as well as the Raw champion, is rumored to be a part of the Bloodline saga shortly. The OTC could have the real-life Bloodline member return to replace Jey Uso in the match, much to the shock of the Bloodline. 1. The Rock and Hikuleo could be the newest additions to the Bloodline. Following a surprise return at Bad Blood PLE, The Rock could make another electrifying return at Crown Jewel. However, the wrestling legend may not return alone, as he could be accompanied by his new enforcer, Hikuleo, who is rumored to join the Bloodline for quite a while. The duo could make their presence felt during the Bloodline's tag match to help the heel stable defeat Roman Reigns and the Usos. Following that, Rock and Hikuleo could be revealed as the newest additions to the Bloodline, with The Rock replacing Solo Sikoa as the leader of the faction. This potential angle would plant the seeds for a massive War Games match at Survivor Series. Crown Jewel 2024 is fast approaching, and the wrestling world is buzzing with speculation about the future of WWE's most dominant faction, the Bloodline. With Jey Uso's allegiance under question, Roman Reigns is rumored to shake things up by recruiting new members to secure his legacy. Here are 4 explosive twists that could redefine the Bloodline and set the stage for a new era of dominance. Twist 1. Roman Reigns replaces Jey Uso with a double champion. Since his betrayal at SummerSlam 2023, Jey Uso's loyalty to the Bloodline has been under intense scrutiny. Roman Reigns, known for his unrelenting quest for control, has had little tolerance for dissent within his ranks. At Crown Jewel, Reigns could make the ultimate power move by replacing Jey with a double champion, perhaps one who has already proven loyalty, strength, and charisma. Rumor has it that Roman has been eyeing Braun Breaker the NXT standout who has dominated the scene with his power and intensity. Breaker, who currently holds both the NXT Championship and North American Championship, would bring a fresh energy to the Bloodline. Not only does he have the potential to outshine Jey's role, but his accolades also give Roman another title to flaunt within the faction. Imagine the scene. Jey walks into the ring, expecting to secure his place within the Bloodline, only to find himself face-to-face with Braun Breaker. The shock would be seismic, leaving Jey humiliated as Braun Breaker takes his place, symbolizing Roman's brutal decision to favor power over blood. Fans would see a ruthless Reigns who is willing to abandon even family if they don't measure up. Twist 2. Roman Reigns reveals 2 new Bloodline members. A generational shock. Adding Braun Breaker might just be the beginning. If Roman wants to lock down the Bloodline's power for years to come, he could reveal not 1, but 2 new members, recruiting from his vast family tree. Reigns has an endless pool of Samoan talent to draw from, but there are whispers that 2 relatives who have never been part of WWE might be ready to make their debut. Enter Jacob Fatu and Zilla Fatu the next generation of Anati warriors. Jacob, who has been a force on the independent scene, possesses the kind of raw aggression Roman respects. Zilla, the son of Umaga, brings an aura reminiscent of his legendary father's wild charisma. Together, these 2 could mark a fresh start for the Bloodline, a duo who represent the true potential of Roman's vision. If Roman unveils Jacob and Zilla at Crown Jewel, he would send a message to the entire WWE roster. The Bloodline is not a mere faction, but a dynasty. This could lead to a brutal initiation for the Fatu cousins, with Reigns commanding them to prove their loyalty in a series of punishing trials against WWE's top superstars. This blood oath would establish the Bloodline's future, adding a dramatic layer to the family's narrative, while sending shivers through the WWE universe. Twist 3. Paul Heyman makes a shocking announcement. Jey Uso's return. As Roman reshapes the Bloodline, Jey Uso remains a looming shadow. Despite Jey's defection, Roman's empire cannot fully stabilize without addressing his twin's lingering influence. Fans have speculated whether Jey might eventually return to the Bloodline, but in a Crown Jewel twist, Paul Heyman could step forward to deliver a game-changing announcement. Jey Uso's reluctant return. If Jey returns, it won't be out of loyalty, but strategic alignment. Forced by circumstances only Heyman could orchestrate. Imagine Heyman revealing that Jey has no choice, whether it's contractual or personal. Perhaps Heyman digs into Jey's recent solo success, pointing out how unsustainable it is compared to the stability the Bloodline offers. Manipulated into returning, Jey could find himself trapped in a role he never wanted, tethered once more to Roman's ambitions. With Jey back, tensions would skyrocket. Reigns would have an obedient yet resentful twin, who could potentially join forces with Jimmy if the timing were right. This twist would reignite the complex brotherly bond that once made the bloodline so compelling, sparking a new chapter of internal struggle that no fan could have predicted. Twist 4. Roman Reigns' plan for dominance faces an unexpected betrayal. Roman's iron grip on the bloodline has made him both feared and hated, and Crown Jewel could be the setting for the ultimate betrayal. Reigns has been merciless, cutting family out and welcoming new members solely based on what they bring to his empire. But absolute power often breeds rebellion, and a member of the bloodline might be secretly planning to bring the faction down from within. Could it be Solo Sikoa, Roman's quiet enforcer who has bided his time, observing Reigns' every move? Solo has been intensely loyal, but that loyalty has gone unrewarded, as Roman has always kept him at arm's length. At Crown Jewel, Solo could surprise everyone by turning against Roman in a climactic showdown. With the newly recruited Braun Breaker and the Fatu cousins standing by, Solo could rally the entire faction against Reigns, dismantling the bloodline in one night. Alternatively, if Paul Heyman sees that Roman's insatiable ambition will eventually lead to his downfall, he might strike first. Heyman has a history of betrayal,